Hello, I'm Leona Dooley, and this is Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme in the kitchen. And today in the kitchen, we are just having a good time. It's going to be one of those days. We're going to have some fried shrimp. We're going to have some chicken. We're going to have some cucumber dip. We're going to have some I think I'm going to try some street corn. Don't hold me to that, but that's my plan. We're going to try street corn, and we're going to throw together a quick salad. So if you're interested in what we're preparing today, stay right there.
The big guy and I took a short trip to ALDI's, and we just kind of ran over there, and we've gotten everything back. I wanted to show you these gloves. They were so cool. They're actually gardening gloves, but you know what? They're the best things to have. That's my second pair. I have a royal blue color also, but the good thing about them is that they're easy to wash. They have a rubbery finish on them, and so they're very easy to sanitize. So we're just taking a moment, and I've purposely sped this up so that we can get the goodies all put away. I've got help, and so I'm kind of laying things out, and you'll see it's just those things that we ran out of. And we're going to have a great time tonight because here in the house, because we're going to have a good dinner. The big guy's having fun because the sun's shining and he can get outside, but he is my official organizer in the pantry. You know, we talked about that earlier. So there's certain things that I'll just kind of hand off to him and say, here, put that up. And some things he'll look at me and go, no, you better put that up. So that's a part of working together. So I'm getting his goodies put away and just laying things out. But the heavy stuff, you'll see eventually I'm handing things to him. And he's looking at me like, well, what else? But he's been so good in all of this, and trying to get everything put away and helping me along the way. So we're working together, and while I'm using my Kroger bags, we actually went to ALDI's. So let's get things kind of straightened up and things folded up. I'm going to save those bags so I can use them the next time I make a trip to the grocery. So today, the plan is to play around in the kitchen because after all, otherwise we're just sitting around, and I'm not a big, necessarily just stare at the television kind of person. I mean, after all, we're kind of at that point where most of the things that we're seeing are reruns anyway. And so I have certain days that I really do spend predominantly in the kitchen doing a lot of little extra things, and I'm taking you right along with me. So I'm looking around. You'll see the gigantic package of chicken breasts that's over there, and I'm going to use those and today, and I'm going to divide those for the freezer. And I guess you're wondering, why do we need a pack of chicken breast that's quite that large? And you're going to see that it gets divided, and the chicken breasts were huge, so I had to split them. And so we're going to be working on the chicken breast as well, and making sure that we have everything all together. So I'm turning you around so you can see. I pulled out the bags, and I'm going to start a hot sink of water, of soapy water, because after all, when you're dealing with poultry, you want to make sure that you have a place to keep your hands nice and clean and all the surfaces nice and clean. So we're going to fill up the sink. I ran out of paper towel, so need to take care of that as well. You know, paper towel is not easy to find, so it's somewhat at a premium. I use a lot of regular dish towels just because I'm trying to avoid the use of paper towels. So here's that package of chicken, and I have 5 monster chicken breasts. So what I'm going to do is to put 2 chicken breasts in each of the bags. So let's get that going. So there we go, 1 and 2. And I'm putting 1 over for us tonight. And then I'm going to work on that and get the other 2 put in the other bag. So that's actually, for this one package, that's 3 meals really. And when you see the size of these chicken breasts, you're going to think, it's probably more than that. But there we go, we got those ready. So they're all together. So what I'm doing is that I'm just going to zip those up, get as much of the air out as possible, and get the area cleaned up. And then we're going to start to prep for tonight. So let's get everything put away. Let's get everything all washed up. And this is where I'm actually going to start to work on that chicken breast, and we're going to cut it in half. So I was hoping you could see, I mean, literally, I just cut down that breast right down the middle, and that's 1 for me and 1 for the big guy. They were that large. So I'm going to need another Ziploc bag because I'm going to marinate these and put them in the refrigerator for tonight. Well, yes, I needed to use a marker, but no, I didn't need quite this many markers, but it wasn't writing very well, so I had to go and get several to try them out. Now what I'm doing is that I'm taking a package of ALDI's ranch salad dressing, and I'm just sprinkling a pack inside of this quart size Ziploc bag, and then I'm closing it up very good. See, I'm shaking it around to make sure that the breast is covered in the ranch dip, and I am going to put those into the refrigerator, and I'm not going to take those out until at least 5 hours later. Now I'm going to wipe these bags down very well. You'll see I'm just giving them a good cleaning before I put them in the refrigerator or in the freezer, whichever the case may be, depending upon where they're going. So let's get them all nice and clean, as well as my hands, and just make sure that we're taking care of the bacteria and anything that may be around. So I'm cleaning up. You have to clean as you go. So when you do that, then you're saving yourself. Now I'm going to throw into our package a little bit of house seasoning, and you notice that this is the package that just has just chicken. It's going to be going in the freezer. I'm tossing in a teaspoon and a half of house seasoning, because after all, no matter what we do with the chicken, it's going to need to be seasoned. So we're putting in a heaping teaspoon or so of seasoning, and getting those rolled down so that most of the air is out. Zip those, and then I'm going to run those out to the freezer, and that part will be done. So let's get them out. Let's get everything closed up before I knock that container over, and I'll be right back. All right, so we're going to work on the cucumber dip. Look at these cucumbers. Not only are they beautiful to look at, they are delicious. So I've cut the cucumber. I just literally took the second cucumber, cut it in half, and what I'm doing is using my mandolin, and I have it on its smallest grate, and I am just grating that cucumber down pretty close, not close enough to take out the hand, but close enough that I'm using most of that cucumber. So there we go, we've got the cucumber in. I took out initially 2 blocks of Philadelphia cream cheese, but ended up actually putting in 3. And typically 3 is my formula, but I was trying to use some cream cheese up. You know, when you buy cream cheese, you have to keep an eye on the date, because otherwise you may end up with it actually going bad sitting in the refrigerator. And we bought quite a bit when the pandemic first struck. So I'm going to use these up. And I bought some new packages of cream cheese, so I'm switching them out. So I'm going to use all 3 of the Philadelphia regular cream cheese. So we're going to get those open. And you'll see that in this dip we've got onions and cucumber. That's it. Onions and cucumber. So we're going to need some seasoning, and I need to put those pins up and get them wiped off. Actually, they're going to have to be wiped off as well. So let's see what we can do. Let's get some seasonings for this dip and get it ready. So here's our pink Himalayan salt, and I'm going to put in you know, you need salt. You need salt. Cucumbers just aren't very salty. And as you can see, I'm using my teaspoon, and I'm sprinkling in about a teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. I don't want any more than that because sometimes your cream cheese is a little salty. So I'm bringing a little pepper in, and I kind of got carried away with the pepper. I had planned to use my teaspoon. It didn't fit, so I thought, okay, well, I'll kind of sprinkle. Whoop, got crazy with it. So I'm sprinkling in a teaspoon of black pepper. We like pepper, so I'll just shake the other end in a little while. Now, so let's get the pepper, the top on the pepper, get it back where it's supposed to be, because I got carried away. So I am just jiggling all of that around so everybody can get a little salty, a little peppery, and that is all the seasoning you want. Now, I could have added the house seasoning, but it would have just changed the whole personality of the dip. So I am just going to put in that cream cheese, take it out of this container. And guys, I'm telling you, any kind of dip that you can put together that your family enjoys, that is always a good thing. And the nice thing about this one is that it uses up those cucumbers. Sometimes when we're just buying cucumbers for salads, the cucumbers don't last very long. So we have to think of something to do with them. So this is a great option. I have even frozen the cream cheese and taken it out. Now, when you do that, it's going to be a little watery, so just be prepared that the texture is going to change just a bit, but the dip is good nonetheless. So I'm going to go ahead and put the second one in. Now, these have been out, but not out quite long enough, so I'm going to need to let them stay out a little longer because I'm not going to use a mixer. I'm going to use my blending fork, and I'm going to blend this dip together by hand. And it's not going to be tough to do. It just takes a few minutes. Within less than 5 minutes, the dip is done. So you see I have my blocks. There's a blending fork, and I'm going to take that blending fork and just press and press. Now what's going to happen is that the juices of the cucumber will help in breaking down the cream cheese. So let's let that happen and get it happy. Yummy.
Hey guys, we've got a chance to get in. The big guy is outside. The house is a little quieter, but we've had a chance to break those blocks of cream cheese down. You know, it doesn't take long. Plus the juiciness, that's the advantage of putting the salt on the cucumber and onions a little bit early. And what that does is that it starts to bring out the juices. And those juices mix with the cream cheese, and it makes it just very creamy. This is a great dip. We like it with any kind of corn chips, or you can have it with potato chips. I mean, it just, the list goes on. Or you can even, you'll love this, if you're serving a fancy party, this makes a great finger sandwich type of spread that you could use, where you spread it on one half, put the two slices together, cut off the ends, and then slice it into little finger strips. And oh man, they're great. They're great. So this is a very versatile dip. So you know what? This is ready. The dip is done. Now I'm going to use my paper plate I had here. I'm going to put a little bit of it on my paper plate. Kind of clean off that fork rather than throwing it in the dishwasher. Now what I'm really checking for is the salt, because this dip without salt is very bland. We don't want bland. We want the dip to be flavorful, and you can even drop little droplets of green food coloring in if you wanted to make it more Christmassy. I've done that at Christmas, but the flavor of the dip remains the same. This is a wonderful, wonderful dip. Very versatile. Serves a lot. As you can see, this was 3 blocks. When I'm picnicking, I usually probably do at least anywhere from 6 to 9 blocks, and just add the amount of cucumber that we need. So I'm just going to kind of spread that down so that all of that can get happy with each other. And I promise you, within a couple of hours, this is going to be even better than what it is now, because those flavors will have had a chance to meld together. Now, I'm going to make a couple of slices of cucumber here. You can even serve this, I didn't think about it, you can serve this with celery, little pieces of celery. Oh, so good. If you don't want to use crackers or whatever it is that you're doing. Now, if I wanted to dirty up another bowl, then I would put this in another dish. But we're not going anywhere. It's just us. And I'm playing around with you here in the kitchen. So we're just going to kind of spiff him up just a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to clean off the sides. And we'll be ready. Woo, woo, woo. It's going to be good. Let me get a paper towel. I'll put the top on it. And I'm just going to clean up the sides. So when we're ready for this later, oh man, it's going to be so delicious. This is one of those dips that everybody will ask you to bring. Every time you go out, bring some of that dip you made. Woo, bring that dip you had. You know, or they'll say, bring that white stuff that you made. And you're going, what? What white stuff? But this is going to be so good. So there we go. And if this part of it is ready, I'm going to put a top on it and put it in the refrigerator. There we go. It is ready. If we were going to a picnic, this would be wonderful for Memorial Day. Delish. Right, we're going to prepare some, I call them pickled beets, and the way we like them. We like them sweet, and not overly sweet, but we do like them sweet. So what I'm doing, I have a container of white vinegar. I have a jar that I'm reusing. It's been cleaned, and I'm going to take this container and pour in about 2 cups of vinegar, because I want this to cover the beets. And you know, the good thing about this, once you make the juice, then you can just reuse it and just continue to add more and more beets to it. Now, while I get that ready, I'm taking the beets out of the can, and I'm actually going to drain their liquid off. I just want the beets. So that's the first can, and I'm going to take these and I'm going to place them in this bottle. These are the things you learn how to do when you're not just in a pandemic, but it's just fun things to do. They makes great picnic items. The good thing about this is that you really can take it to a picnic, and you don't have to worry about spoilage, because there's no mayonnaise. It's very vinegary based, and so therefore it can go. And we usually had it on most of our picnics. So that's the second can, and let's put that in. You know, I'm hoping I'm going to get that third one in. Let's try to shake him up. All right, I'm going to put a few more onions. I had chopped these onions. Let me kind of push them down in a little while. Okay, I'm going to take this third one. I'm going to get this third one in there. Get all the juice out. And now, let me carefully work these down into the can. I'm going to get them in. You watch. Just a little press. Okay, one more in there. I'll get him out. But we're going to press that in. Watch. I'm going to put an onion on top of it too. That's going to help me with this process. Okay, now let me turn my sink, because at this point it looks like Jeffrey Dahmer has been through. So anyway, there's all the, okay, one last one. There he is. I'm going to rinse these cans out, because I'm going to recycle them as usual. Recycle, recycle, recycle as much as we can. Okay, so those 3 cans are taken care of. I'm going to put them over there. Then we're going to work on the vinegar that we're going to be pouring over these beets. Got my towel. Now, remember, I like it a little sweet. And if you have it a little sweet, you got to have a little bit of salt. So this is a teaspoon. I'm going to take about half a teaspoon of salt. That's going to help bring the sweetness out without having to put a lot of sugar in there. So I'm going to scoot you just a little bit, hopefully without upsetting your stomach. Right here in this cabinet, as you can see, I'm taking my my sugar out. There we go. And I'm going to bring you down just a bit and raise you up. There we go. I got you. Oh yeah, I got you. There we go. That's it. Right there. Okay, now we've got our vinegar here. And what I am going to do is that I'm going to get my little scoop here. And I am going to get a scoop of sugar. Now I'm going to heat this vinegar because I want, now notice I'm doing 2 scoops, and I may need more, so I'm not going to put that away. Take my knife that I used for the cutting of the onion. I'm just stirring that around. Now I'm going to put this on for at least 3 minutes in the microwave. I may need it just a little bit longer, but I want it pretty hot. So I may even have to go to 5. So let's see what we do. We'll say 3, and if we need more than that, I'll let you know. All right, 4 minutes is what it took. Now, I'm just going to very carefully start to add this hot vinegar down into our jar. Whew, hot vinegar can take your breath. Now you'll see it as it bubbles up. And I don't know if you can see the heat. And we're going to bring this all the way up to the top. There we go. Now, I'm going to put the top on it. This is a Clausen bottle. Make sure I get it all the way up. Good coverage. All right. There we go. Get a good seal on it. That's nice and hot. There's our beets. And I'm going to let them stay out until they cool off just a little bit. And then I'm kind of rolling them around a little bit just to make sure that everybody's in the pool. And then raise it back up. There we go. Beets, check. Now, taste your vinegar. You will have to decide on how sweet you like yours. I made ours very moderate because we're going to be using it on salads with other dressings as well. So I didn't need it quite as sweet. I can remember back in the day, this would be like syrup, but I've gotten wiser, so it's not quite as sweet. Okay, let's figure out what we're going to do next. Now, we've got vinegar, still got a little vinegar left. I'll have to decide what we're going to do with that. We could certainly make a green bean salad. There's just all kinds of fun vinegary based things that we can do. Now, I do need some onions. So I'm going to take out a pan that I keep in my oven. And I know that hubby has been cooking because he doesn't always put things back the way I like them. So, anyway, Ari's in a hurry. He wants to hurry up and eat. So I am just cleaning this up a little better. It's an old pan. I use it in my oven. It works great. And so that's where it's going to be. Now in this pan, I'm going to add some grapeseed oil down on the bottom. And just some swizzles. I'm going to add in all of this leftover onion plus more. You know, I love grilled vegetables. And we're going to grill some green beans. We need something green. I've got corn, we got all that kind of stuff, but we need some greens. Okay, so there's our onions. Okay, Put that back in there. Remember, you always put the paper towel in there with your cut vegetables so that the moisture, excess moisture, will go in the paper towel and will allow your vegetables to last longer. Okay, now let me get the green beans. I'm going to put these back and put the beets in the refrigerator. Now, while I was in the refrigerator, I also took out my shrimp, my chicken, and took out some butter because I want to put a little bit of butter in the bottom of this pan as well. And let's get a knife, okay? This work. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of butter. Now, if you don't like butter, you prefer margarine, you can certainly do that. But I like butter. It's more natural. Margarine, you don't really know what that stuff is. When you start to read it, it's got all kinds of stuff in there. So I am taking the paper off. And then I'm just going to cut these little cubes of butter. There we go. That's done. I'm going to take these and put them in the trash. I'm going to keep the butter out because we'll probably need it a little later. Okay. All right. Butter, check. Now we need some salt and pepper. I'm going to, you have to season each layer. So this is the first layer. Onions and the oils. All right, let's get some green beans. Now these are some of the ALDI's green beans. I'm going to rinse them. And I'm actually going to cut them in half. They're very tender and they're usually very good. Okay, so I'm going to sit this over there and take out a big handful, about half the packet. Like I said, we like green vegetables. The rest of this I will put back in the refrigerator for another night. So I'm going to take these and I'm just going to slice them right down the middle. Okay. There we go. I think that's enough for the 2 of us. Look at that and see if we need more. I don't think so. I think that's more than enough. Use my little Dollar Tree Betty Crocker spatula and kind of mix all of that up. Hopefully you can see. Okay. Now, let me get a spoon. Now I'm using a tablespoon. Remember our sweetened vinegar? I'm going to take just 1 tablespoon and throw over this. It's going to give it a very savory flavor. Okay. go in the oven while I'm fixing the rest of dinner. I'm using a heavy duty foil, kind of even it out. There we go. It's going in the oven. I'm going to put it on 350 until they're ready. When they're tender, then I'll just turn the oven off. Okay, that's good to go. Okay, you can see the oil, and it is good and hot. Now I'm going to turn it down just a little bit because I already know that it is going to be very, very warm because nothing's been in it. Now I'm going to need those tongs that we had. I'm going to bring them out, rinse them off good. I already washed them, but they need a little extra rinse. Alright, so let's get our chicken in, and I don't want to burn it, so that's another reason why. See? Nice and hot. I'm going to lower that down into my skillet. See, that's pretty hot. So I need to bring that down just a little. And I'm going to take it off for a few minutes because I don't want it to burn. And I do want it to cook. I want it to cook the chicken, not just brown it. Okay, the first one always browns up the fastest. Oh, that's the way it goes. And turn it over. There we go. And I'll put it back on the fire. There we go. I just didn't want it to you can see how quickly it browned around the edges. I did not want my chicken to be overcooked. Let me check this one. Okay, it's doing pretty good. Okay, now we're going to let those cook, and we're going to talk about some things. Now, while we're cooking, we're going to take a look. All right, let's take a look at our chicken. It's doing well. I turned it down just a little bit. Like I said, I want it to be done. Oh, that's beautiful. Now that's pretty. Okay. So we're going to let that work. That's got to work. I'm going to get a pan and have my paper towel in it. Now, some people use paper towel. Some people just get those, one of these. And as luck would have it, I bought two. And the reason I bought two is because my son hipped me to it. He said, Mom, go to Amazon. You can get two. Now, of course, at this moment I don't see it, but I got one. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to put down some paper towel to protect my surface of my granite. And that's where the chicken's going to go. Doesn't that look good? Now guys, we are starting to get out just a tiny bit, very tiny, and especially here in Virginia. We have some places that are starting to open back up. But you know what, I went to one place yesterday, and I had on my mask and my gloves, as I should, and oh my goodness, 90% of the people in there were walking around just like nothing had happened. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. How do you do that? You know you're in the middle of a pandemic, but you're out walking around like there's nothing going on. I just couldn't understand it, but that's what's happening. People are just totally disregarding the fact that we are still in a serious situation. I hope you're wiser than that, and that you are protecting yourself and your family, as well as the workers, the people who are in the store. Protect them. Those little plastic partitions just aren't enough. Make sure you have gloves. Make sure that you have a mask. Woo! I'm on my soapbox. Let me get off. Let me get off.
These chicken breasts look beautiful. So I am just going to take them out, put them on the rack, and let them drain, but I want them to stay crispy. That's the reason for putting them on the rack and having the paper towel under the rack, so that the chicken really doesn't come in contact with the actual paper towel. We want all that crispiness to stay, and it did. It really did. It held up. There we go. We're going to get that other one. Now everything's going to get brought back up to temperature, and then we're going to drop the shrimp in. So let's get those shrimp in. And you know, the shrimp are small. They're going to cook quickly, which is a good thing. So I'm just going to plop those shrimp right in and keep it moving. So let's get those in there, and I'm not going to turn up the heat. I'm going to leave the heat right where it is, because I don't want to burn anything, and I don't want to overcook them. So I'm going to give them a minute. Notice I'm shaking my skillet just a little bit. The reason for doing that is to keep them from sticking together, and it also allows me to have a little more room for more shrimp, so I can prepare quite a bit. So let's get those in, and I'm trying not to totally overfill the skillet, but I'm going to get quite a few in, so when we get to that second batch, that will move along very, very quickly. So there we go. We've got that ready. So while they're frying, I'm going to put together a quick salad. So, you know, I had already prepared the beets. They're done, and I'm just going to grate up some carrot and have that ready. I have the lettuce sitting right there. I'm going to cut that off, get that all together, so we will have a delicious and very colorful salad tonight for dinner, because I decided not to do the corn. I figured by the time we had the green beans, the chicken, the salad, that we did not need anything else. So I'm going to get the lettuce. The lettuce is in that container and ready to go. The second batch of shrimp is on its way. So we are just going to take them out, and aren't they beautiful, nice and golden? Get them over on the rack. I had the first batch on the rack, as you saw. So here's batch 2. I'm adding those to it so we can get those out. They're ready to go and nice and crispy. And let's get the rest of them in. You know, this is going to be a good dinner. It's going to be quick. We're going to have a little bit of leftover, I'm sure, both chicken and shrimp, and for a lunch maybe. We could have shrimp tacos. We could, of course, as I said, we could have chicken sandwiches. You name it, we could do it. And so that is all to that part of the dinner. Let's turn that heat down. There's our salads. They're ready to go. I've added on some beets, and the tomatoes are in there. So I'm just going to put on some ranch dressing since we're having ranch chicken. Let's get the ranch dressing on there. You're also going to see some lemon, and there's those beets. Aren't they pretty? So they are sitting in the juices with the onions, and to be honest with you, tomorrow they'll be even better. So let's sprinkle on. Big Guy likes a little pepper, a little extra pepper, and we're going to do a little pepper, a little celery salt, or you could even use celery seed, which would also be good. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of that on because it's going to just raise the level of that salad. So that part's done and ready to go. Now, we're also going to have some fresh made iced tea. And the tea is ready. There it is. There it is. So the big guy's putting the ice in the glasses. I've got the lemons cut. Voila. There it is. Ready to go. I hope you've enjoyed it.
I have had a ball right here in the kitchen with you. We've had such a good time. Oh my gosh, we've done so much cooking and messing around and putting things together and trying it out. And so I hope you have had a great time, because I certainly have. And I am so glad that you opted to come right here to this kitchen at Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme, and to take a moment and to rest your feet and just relax. Now, for those of you who are new subscribers, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, because you know right here in this kitchen, we do all kinds of things. We decorate, we cook, we're planning, we just got all kinds of things going on. But they're all things that are done right here in the kitchen. And so I invite those of you who are family. I just love that you are always here with me, and I hope you will always be. And those of you who are new to the channel, I hope you will turn around and come back tomorrow, because there's going to be something fun going on right here in the kitchen. Now, I upload 3 times a week, and I hope that you're going to be sitting right there to see what we're doing in this kitchen. So, mwah, blessings to you and yours. And most of all, stay in that house. And if you have to go out, put on a mask and get your gloves, because that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So, have a blessed time, and I'll see you soon at Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme, where we work hard. We love God and family. And we know without a doubt that everything else is just gravy. I'll see you soon.